Welcome back to Stay Stoic. I'm so glad you're here because today we're diving into a topic that touches the hearts of many. It's the topic of love. We all know that love can be one of the most beautiful experiences in life, but it can also bring its share of challenges, especially when attachment takes over. It's a tricky balance of loving someone without becoming too attached. If you've ever found yourself in a relationship where your feelings grew so intense that they started to hurt both you and your partner, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. That moment when you realize you're holding on too tightly, maybe texting a little too often, or feeling anxious when they're not around, it's a struggle many of us know all too well. So the big question is, how can you love someone deeply without losing yourself in the process? How can you maintain that emotional connection without letting attachment lead to pain? The good news is that Stoic philosophy offers us some powerful insights into this very issue. The Stoics understood the complexities of love and emotions, and they provided timeless wisdom that we can apply directly to our modern relationships. Whether you're in a new relationship, navigating the ups and downs of a long-term partnership, or even reflecting on past relationships, these principles can help you love in a way that's both fulfilling and healthy. But before we dive into the Stoic principles that can help us love without attachment, I have a small favor to ask. Drop a comment below with the words, "Love fully, love freely." It's a simple yet impactful way to commit to these ideas and show that you're ready to embrace a love that's free from unhealthy attachment. Plus, it's always exciting to see how many of you are on this journey toward healthier, more balanced relationships. Now let's get into it. Love, as most of us have experienced, is one of life's greatest joys, but it can also bring challenges, especially when we confuse love with attachment. Imagine you're in a relationship where things start out great, but over time, you notice that you're becoming more dependent on your partner for your happiness. Maybe you're checking your phone constantly for their messages, or you feel uneasy when they're out with friends. You might start to think that the more you care, the more you should hold on tightly. But here's where the Stoics offer a different perspective. Stoicism teaches us that true love is about wishing the best for someone else, even if that doesn't involve us directly. It's about loving freely, without trying to control or possess the other person. When you truly love someone, what you're really doing is wanting the best for them, no strings attached. It's about being their biggest cheerleader, supporting their dreams and wanting them to thrive, even if it means they're not always right by your side. Now, attachment is a different story. When we become too attached, our love can turn into something more like dependency, where our happiness is tied up in the actions and presence of another person. It creeps in when we start to rely on our partner to meet all our emotional needs. It's that feeling when you get anxious if they don't text back right away, or when you feel a little pang of jealousy when they hang out with friends without you. We've all been there, right? Attachment often makes us clingy and insecure because we're afraid of losing that source of comfort and validation. This is where things can start to go downhill, creating stress and tension in the relationship. This kind of attachment not only causes us to suffer, but can also place an unfair burden on the person we love, leading to strain and even resentment in the relationship. Stoicism teaches us that true love is about appreciating the person for who they are, not for what they can do for us or how they make us feel. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." This means loving fully, but without the need to control or possess the other person. When you love someone, it's natural to want to be close to them, but Stoicism reminds us that love shouldn't come with strings attached. Think about it this way. In a healthy relationship, you want your partner to be happy, even if that happiness doesn't always involve you. It's about trusting that the bond you share is strong enough to endure without constant reassurance. This doesn't mean you care any less. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about respecting their autonomy and supporting their growth, which ultimately strengthens your relationship. For example, let's say your partner has an opportunity to take a job in another city. Instead of clinging to them out of fear of losing them, you embrace the situation with an open heart, knowing that true love allows space for each person to grow. You support their decision, understanding that love is not about possessing someone, but about supporting them, even when it's challenging. So how do we put this into practice? How do we love deeply without falling into the trap of attachment, especially when emotions run high? That's what we're here to explore. Stoic philosophy gives us the tools to develop a mindset where love can thrive without the chains of attachment, leading to more meaningful and lasting relationships. Let's dive into these Stoic principles and discover how you can love in a way that's both profound and free. Principle 1. Focus on what you can control. This is a big one in Stoicism, and it's a total game changer when it comes to relationships. One of the key teachings of Stoicism is to focus on what's within your control and to let go of what isn't. In the context of love, this means recognizing that you can't control your partner's feelings, actions, or decisions. And honestly, trying to control these things often leads to frustration and unnecessary stress. Imagine this. Your partner is going through a tough time at work and they've been distant. Naturally, you might start overthinking, wondering if you've done something wrong. It's easy to fall into the trap of trying to fix things for them or feeling anxious about how their struggles might affect your relationship. But here's where Stoic wisdom steps in. Instead of getting caught up in things you can't control, like how they're feeling or whether they'll open up to you, shift your focus to what you can control, your own thoughts, actions, and responses. You can't make their problems go away, but you can choose to be a source of support. You can be patient, listen without judgment, and offer help where you can, without expecting anything in return, simply because that's the kind of partner you want to be. By focusing on being the best partner you can be, you're contributing positively to the relationship without becoming overly attached to a specific outcome. This approach not only reduces your own stress, but also creates a more supportive and stable environment for your partner. This doesn't mean you stop caring or become passive. Quite the opposite. It means you become more mindful of your role in the relationship, ensuring that your actions are rooted in love and respect, rather than in a desire to control the outcome. By focusing on what you can control, you're not only being a better partner, but you're also freeing yourself from the anxiety that comes with trying to manage things that are beyond your reach. So let's take this first step to heart. Focus on being the best partner you can be, and let go of the need to control your partner's thoughts or actions. When you do this, you'll find that your relationship becomes not only healthier, but also more fulfilling for both of you. If you're still with us, it's clear that this topic is resonating with you. If you haven't had a chance to like the video or subscribe to our channel yet, I'd be incredibly grateful if you could take a moment to do so now. Your support is vital and helps us continue creating content that truly connects with you. Now let's dive into the next principle. This principle is especially important, so make sure to stay tuned and pay close attention. Principle 2. Embrace mindful detachment in your relationship. When we talk about non-attachment, it's easy to misunderstand it as caring less about your partner or being emotionally distant. However, non-attachment in the Stoic sense is not about disengagement or lack of affection. It's about cultivating a mindset that allows you to love fully without becoming entangled in the anxieties and fears that often accompany deep emotional connections. It's about loving your partner with your whole heart, while recognizing that the outcome of the relationship is not something you can control. Imagine this. You're in a loving relationship and everything feels perfect. But then you start to wonder, what if they decide to leave? What if something goes wrong? These thoughts, while natural, can quickly spiral into a source of stress and anxiety. You might find yourself acting differently. Perhaps you become overly cautious, trying to prevent anything that could jeopardize the relationship. You may even start making compromises that aren't true to yourself, all in the name of holding on to the relationship. But here's where non-attachment can transform your experience. Non-attachment doesn't mean you care less. It means you stop clinging to the relationship's outcome as if your happiness depends entirely on it. Stoic philosophy teaches us that everything in life is temporary, including relationships. This idea might seem unsettling at first, but accepting this truth can lead to a more profound and meaningful connection with your partner. When you understand that nothing is guaranteed, you begin to appreciate what you have even more, without the burden of fear dictating your actions. Think about a time when you were so afraid of losing someone that it influenced how you behaved. Maybe you hesitated to speak your mind, or went along with things you didn't truly agree with, all to avoid conflict or distance. While these actions might have provided temporary comfort, they often lead to a buildup of unspoken resentment or a loss of authenticity in the relationship. Non-attachment allows you to break free from this cycle. It encourages you to be yourself fully, to communicate openly, and to trust that whatever happens, you will be okay. Let's use a simple metaphor. Imagine you're holding a beautiful flower. If you grip it too tightly, you might crush it, destroying the very thing you wanted to protect. But if you hold it gently, appreciating its beauty without trying to control it, both you and the flower can thrive. The same goes for relationships. When you try to control or cling too tightly to your partner, out of fear of losing them, you may end up suffocating the relationship, preventing both of you from experiencing true growth and happiness. Instead, approach your relationship with a gentle hold. Appreciate your partner for who they are, enjoy the moments you share, and trust that the love you give is enough without needing to control the outcome. This doesn't mean you don't care about the future or the direction of the relationship, but rather, you stop letting the fear of the unknown dominate your present actions. You allow both yourself and your partner the freedom to grow individually and together, knowing that the relationship's success isn't about possession or control, but about mutual respect, love, and understanding. By practicing non-attachment, you create a space where love can flourish naturally. You're not driven by the fear of loss, but by the joy of the present. This approach not only strengthens your relationship, but also fosters a deeper connection that is free from the chains of anxiety and control. It's about loving fully, without letting the fear of impermanence cloud the beauty of the here and now. Principle 3. Love actively, not passively. When we talk about Stoic love, it's crucial to understand that it's not about being emotionally detached or indifferent. Instead, Stoic love is about engaging with your partner in a way that is both intentional and present. It's about actively participating in the relationship, showing up for your partner in meaningful ways, and expressing your affection openly and honestly, without letting the fear of losing them dictate your actions. Think of it this way. Imagine planning a special day for your partner, perhaps a surprise picnic or a spontaneous adventure. The motivation behind this gesture is not driven by anxiety or a need to keep your partner interested. Instead, it stems from a genuine desire to bring joy into their life and to share memorable moments together. This kind of love is not about trying to secure a place in your partner's heart through grand gestures or constant reassurance. Rather, it's about wanting to enhance their life simply because you care deeply about their happiness. In a relationship, this approach means being fully present in your interactions. It involves actively listening to your partner, engaging in meaningful conversations, and showing appreciation for the little things they do. It's about making a conscious effort to support them and be there for them, not out of fear of losing them, but out of a sincere desire to contribute positively to their life. By loving actively, you're not driven by a need to control or possess your partner. Instead, you create a space where both you and your partner can grow individually and together. This active engagement in the relationship helps build a foundation of mutual respect and understanding, which is essential for a healthy and fulfilling connection. It allows both partners to feel valued and supported, and it fosters an environment where love can thrive naturally. Moreover, when you love actively and intentionally, you shift your focus from trying to manage the relationship to genuinely enjoying it. You're not preoccupied with constantly checking if your partner's feelings are secure or if you're meeting their expectations. Instead, you focus on how you can contribute to their happiness and well-being, knowing that a strong and healthy relationship is built on mutual effort and shared joy. In practical terms, this means setting aside quality time for your partner, being attentive to their needs, and celebrating the moments you share together. It involves making small, thoughtful gestures that show you care and investing in activities that strengthen your bond. It's about expressing your love through actions and words, not out of obligation or fear, but because you genuinely want to deepen your connection. Think about a time when you might have done something similar. Perhaps you surprised your partner with their favorite homemade dinner, or you organized a weekend getaway to a place they've always wanted to visit. These actions weren't driven by anxiety about the state of the relationship or fear of losing them. Instead, they were driven by a heartfelt desire to make them happy and enrich your shared experiences. When your love is active and intentional, it's not about filling a void or trying to keep someone from drifting away. It's about genuinely sharing moments and making the most of your time together. Now, imagine if you approached your relationship from a place of fear and insecurity. You might find yourself constantly trying to measure up to an ideal or worrying about every little thing, hoping that it will somehow secure your partner's commitment. This can turn loving actions into obligations, and it often creates a pressure-filled environment that can strain the relationship. On the other hand, when you focus on loving actively, your actions come from a place of genuine affection and enjoyment. You're present in the moment, not trying to control or cling to your partner. For instance, if you're always planning surprises or making efforts to connect, not out of a sense of obligation, but because you truly want to see your partner happy, you're fostering a relationship based on mutual appreciation rather than need. This approach allows both of you to grow individually and together, free from the weight of fear and control. By focusing on loving actively, you align yourself with the principles of Stoic philosophy. You move away from the anxieties of attachment and towards a more balanced, fulfilling relationship where both partners feel free to be themselves and grow together. This active and intentional approach to love not only enriches your relationship, but also reflects a deeper understanding of what it means to love wisely and meaningfully. Principle 4. Embrace impermanence. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the acceptance of impermanence, and this principle can be incredibly freeing when applied to our relationships. The Stoics, like Epictetus, understood that everything in life is transient. Epictetus once advised, "When you kiss your child goodnight, whisper to yourself, 'They may not be here in the morning.'" While this may seem a bit stark, it's actually a powerful reminder to cherish the present moment and value what we have while we have it. In the context of love and relationships, embracing impermanence means acknowledging that the person you care about might not always be a part of your life. This realization might initially feel unsettling or even frightening, but it's actually an invitation to deepen your connection with your partner in a more meaningful way. Imagine a situation where you and your partner are planning a future together, but life takes unexpected turns and circumstances change. It's natural to feel a sense of loss or anxiety at the thought of such changes. However, instead of letting these fears dominate your thoughts, consider using them as a motivation to live fully and authentically in the present. For example, if you know that life is unpredictable, you might find yourself more inclined to savor the little moments, like a cozy evening at home or a spontaneous weekend trip. By appreciating these experiences for what they are and focusing on the joy they bring, you enhance the quality of your relationship without being weighed down by worries about what might happen in the future. Think about a time when you shared a special moment with your partner, whether it was a simple dinner at home or a grand adventure. If you were fully present and appreciated the experience for its own sake, you likely felt a deep sense of connection and contentment. By accepting that these moments are fleeting, you give them the significance they deserve. Embracing impermanence also means recognizing that the nature of relationships can change. People grow, evolve, and sometimes part ways. Instead of fearing these changes, use them as a reminder to love deeply and authentically while you can. This approach not only enriches your relationship, but also helps you cope with its natural ebbs and flows with grace and acceptance. In practical terms, this might look like making an effort to show appreciation and affection daily, knowing that each day with your partner is a unique opportunity. It could also mean being open to change and finding joy in the present, rather than clinging to an ideal future. Ultimately, embracing impermanence allows you to fully engage with your partner and cherish the time you have together. By focusing on the present and valuing each moment, you foster a relationship that is grounded in genuine appreciation and love, rather than fear of loss or the desire to control the future. It's a powerful way to enhance your connection and create a more meaningful, fulfilling relationship, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Navigating relationships with Stoic principles can be transformative, helping you build deeper and more meaningful connections. Let's dive into how you can apply these insights in everyday situations, and then we'll briefly revisit what we've discussed today. Consider a scenario where your partner seems distant. Instead of panicking or trying to control their behavior, take a step back and reflect on what you can control. Ask yourself, am I showing up as the best version of myself in this relationship? Communicate openly and honestly, but also give your partner the space they might need. This approach helps you stay grounded and avoid unnecessary stress. Next, imagine you're grappling with the fear of losing someone you deeply care about. Instead of letting this fear consume you, remind yourself that nothing is permanent. Embrace gratitude for the moments you have together rather than worrying about the future. This shift in perspective allows you to appreciate your relationship more fully and alleviates anxiety about potential loss. Finally, if you find yourself overwhelmed by emotions in your relationship, remember to stay present. Reflect on the idea that your partner is their own individual with their own journey. Your role is to support and love them without trying to control or possess them. This mindset helps you manage intense feelings and fosters a healthier, more balanced relationship. So, today, we explored how Stoic principles can transform your approach to love and attachment. We discussed focusing on what you can control, practicing non-attachment, loving actively without fear, and embracing the impermanence of relationships. These Stoic insights encourage you to build a relationship that's both deeply fulfilling and resilient. Thank you so much for watching and joining us on this journey of applying Stoic wisdom to love and relationships. If you found this video helpful and want to dive deeper into living a balanced and thoughtful life, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support is invaluable and helps us continue to share valuable insights. Until next time, keep embracing these principles and living your best life. Master your mind and conquer your life.